This has been a wonderful event for all of us, and thank you very much for attending the day. Jeff?
Thank you, Cheyenne. Mr. Longfiled, participants, and guests, I welcome you all on behalf of the University of Guelph and the Ontario Veterinary College. As far as I can tell, so far this day has been a fantastic success. Attendance has exceeded expectations. It's a wonderful tribute both to the organizers, Ravi and Cheyenne and others, but also to the need for this kind of gathering that brings people around the poultry industry together to learn about innovations and possibilities for the future as we try and drive this industry through our next century. So I think to you it's no surprise, no new knowledge that the poultry industry is extremely important to the province of Ontario and to the country. Up to $4 billion associated with this industry. So to have a group of researchers come together like this, together with industry partners, we have representatives from Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, from PHAC, from a number of other agencies and industry associations. It's a great opportunity. And I hope that this sort of get-together will happen more often in the future. Here at the University of Guelph, we have an unprecedented and unique gathering of expertise in support of the poultry industry. I think you've heard examples of much of the research and innovation that's come from our groups here. It involves upwards of 5 of our 7 colleges and spans breadth from poultry welfare right through to vaccine development and molecular basis for immunity to disease. So we have a wonderful collection here. Perhaps our only fault is that we hide our light under a bushel to some degree, and I think a day like today is very much about trying to give the Poultry Health Research Group a profile nationally and internationally, and we do hope that this is going to be the basis for this group of people here today to be seen as the go-to people for all things poultry, and it's a great start. We have, in addition to our researchers, we have a fantastic infrastructure here at the University of Guelph, which we continue to work on. Our farm at Arkell and our isolation facilities here at the University of Guelph provide us with an opportunity to do the kind of research that's just not possible at many other locations in Canada or internationally. With that, I'm going to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Longfiled. I think those of you from Guelph are familiar with Lloyd Longfiled. He's been a fantastic leader in business innovation here in Guelph and a great community member. Now our new Minister of Parliament. He has a number of important roles on the Hill that could help us in our goals as an industry. He's been elected the chair of the Liberal Caucus on Innovation of Post-Secondary Education. He's a member of the House of Commons Standing Committee on Industry, Science and Technology, and a member of the House of Commons Standing Committee on Agriculture and Agri-Food. He's a great promoter of this region, but also a promoter of agriculture as an important avenue to improve the performance and economic sustainability of Canada as a whole. And I'd like to welcome Lloyd Longfiled.
Thanks, Jeff, and what a great collection of minds today. And thank you for the poultry at lunch. The protein lunch that we had here was wonderful. Of course, the University of Guelph Hospitality Group doing an outstanding job. As the University of Guelph does in any area that they touch, when you look at us being a leader in agriculture research, in plant and animal health, and I can say saving the planet. Because I think that's, when it comes right down to it, this is one of the basic needs that we all have, regardless of where we're living in the world, is access to affordable protein and healthy food to bring healthy bodies forward. And how do we work on that together? Well, we've got researchers from the government here, we've got researchers from university, we've got industry, and that's really the chemistry we need to drive forward. And where does the government play a role in the federal government in terms of helping some of this magic happen? think last week we had our budget announced, and we'll be debating in Parliament when we get back on April 11th. I think we have 4 days scheduled for debating the budget. But you saw in the budget that we are looking at trying to restore some of the work that was being done in science over the years, and some of it that's being cut back over the last 10 years. And not to be too political about it, but I think we do have a renewed focus on science, and looking at science as something that needs to be done purely. And so $75 million for pure science. It's not attached to any kind of economic goals, but science for the sake of science, so that we can discover what we don't know and then take those discoveries forward in whichever way they're going to benefit people around the world. We're also looking at the $2 billion in infrastructure funding to help with equipment in labs and buildings to help restore some of the infrastructure on campuses across Canada. We've got the other funding with the IRAP, $50 million going into industry research assistance. So we're trying to play a role in bringing some capital to the table, but we also, of course, look for our industrial partners and our provincial partners and even our municipal partners to say we're all in this together. There's really, at the end of the day, Canadians are all funding this, either through the municipal, federal, or provincial taxes, the business taxes, and how can we reinvest in the growth of Canada and reinvest in an area where we are strong. So I'm very excited to be here from representing Guelph, and I'm really excited to be representing Guelph up on the Hill, because a current topic is what do we need to do to diversify our economy, and Jeff mentioned the figure around agriculture. It's a significant sector in Canada. What I have on my office wall in the Justice Building is our balance of trade curves. Everybody's a little different. I like balance of trade curves because it tells a lot of stories, and it shows us going from a $54 billion trade surplus in 2005 to a $13 billion trade deficit in the last year. So what do we do to get back up to a trade surplus? And the library of the House of Commons is a great place for getting nonpartisan information, and they've given me the ag curves, the automotive curves, and really how can we stimulate value add, and that's something that the province of Ontario has been very strong with. So again, the roads leading back to Guelph. And so that the people in this room, how can we work together as we try and form these clusters? And you'll see that going forward in the next, in the coming months. We're looking at Canadian clusters, and where do we have natural intelligence networks that can work on specific problems together, and looking at food and plant and animal health, and Guelph being what it is, and you can see in the room today what Guelph is. How do we build that cluster and connect to other clusters or nodes across Canada, whether it be in Calgary or Prince Edward Island, so that we can share limited resources and specific expertise to solve global problems, and starting with problems at home in First Nations, rebuilding our Nutrition North program. I could go on, but I won't. But just the taster for me is, first of all, seeing federal researchers and university researchers and industry in the room. This is where it needs to start. We need to draw these conversations forward to see what we can do to help support whatever you're doing as a federal government. And I would love to be a part of that conversation. And I've been involved with the Catalyst Center here extensively. I've been quite involved with Innovation Guelph. I've worked with BioEnterprise. I think we've got some strong innovation cluster work going on in Guelph that we could probably put a little bit of work to building an even stronger network. And if we can help, if I can help in any way, someone in this room knows where to find me. Lloyd Longfiled is a good starting point, but if you went Lloyd Longfiled at parl.gc.ca, you can reach me or drop by my office on Cork, and I'd love to share our thoughts and your thoughts and see what we can do to build this network as an even stronger network than it already is. So thanks for coming today. We have a wonderful announcement coming from the province around the Morriston bypass that'll be public in an hour or so. So I have to go down to Morriston from here and then off to Milton. We're doing some work with the Automotive Caucus that I'm a part of and looking at strengthening the automotive network, manufacturing network in Ontario. And then back for meetings later this afternoon, and then Talk Local tonight on Rogers Cable. I guess they've got an hour or so of me on the hot seat. So it's a day, but I'm really, really glad that part of my day included this. And congratulations to the organizers, and I look forward to working with you in the future.